Now there isn't much to our courtyard here, but we should go ahead and work on that now. First of all, it's got a little bit of a ridge here, right in the center. We can take these faces and press the C key and select these here. And then I'll press the E key to extrude and click, and then I'll hit the S key and we'll scale that in just a little bit. And in the reference sketches, it looks like I've got another extrusion here, and I'll just pull that down slightly, just a little bit. I don't want to catch the character on that ridge there and make it too big, but I do want just a little bit. There we go. Now, in addition, we've got what looks like a fountain in the center of the courtyard. So let's work on that. I'm going to go ahead and go to a brand new layer to work on that. And I'll go to the Create tab, and let's create yet another cylinder. Now for this, I'd like it to be fairly round. I think I may go with something a little higher than we've been using, maybe 24 sides, something like that. And the cap fill should be triangle fan again. I won't need any of the faces on the bottom here, so I'll tab into edit mode and select these with the circle select tool and just hit X and delete faces. I'll then go back to object mode and let's scale this down a bit. And I'll press the 3 key to go to the side view and the 5 key to go to orthographic view. And I'll move this up so it's sitting on the plane. Now, I've got my pivot point in the center of the grid, and I'd like to leave that pivot point where it is. So what I can do is tab into edit mode and select everything with the A key, and then I can just move everything in edit mode up, say, to this point. And now that pivot point will stay planted in the center of the grid. So I'll also need to select these faces on the top, and once again extrude and click and hit S and scale in a bit. And then I'll hit E once again and pull these down a bit. Now let's bring back that layer with the pathways and let's see how we're doing. Well, that's kind of small, so let's scale that whole thing up. Something like this. Now, even though it doesn't really have it in the reference images, I think I may put a rim around the bottom here. So I'll tab into edit mode and go to edge mode, and I'll press Alt and select an edge to select all those edges, and I'll bring that up a bit, and let's work on giving this a little bit of an edge. Say we extrude and then scale a hair, and maybe bring this down just a bit. Maybe extrude again, bring it down some and scale out just a bit, and then finally an extrusion that we bring all the way down into the floor there. Something like that, just to give it a little bit more interest around the bottom. Now we can come over here to the Tools tab and hit Smoothing and see how that looks. And it doesn't really work for us on this particular object. However, what I could do is maybe bevel these edges just a little bit to see if I can clean it up and provide a little bit more detail on it. So I'll tab into edit mode and I'll select this edge. And if I press Control E, I get this bevel selection here, and I'll click that, and then I'm going to click and drag this until I get just a little bit of an edge there. And then what I'll do to add an extra edge loop, I'll just scroll the mouse wheel one time and then click. And maybe I'll even do that for this inner piece here. Let's see how this works. Bevel it and add one extra edge here. Alright, there's that. Let's also give one extra edge loop down here and pull that down to the edge here. See if we can hold that edge when we smooth it. Now we've added quite a bit of extra geometry to this, but it is the central point of the environment. So let's smooth this and see how it works. Let's go with that for now, and let's see how it works when we texture it. What we need to do now is work on UV mapping each of the objects so we can begin texturing them. And that's up next.